Um,
I
I
am
am
awesome.
now super excited to introduce Kim Pichelli, who is an amazing Title IX attorney, and also her wisdom and humor and guidance as a staff person at Bowdoin and then as president of the board for Speak About It is truly unmatched. And also, she literally hired me, so my effusiveness is 100% appropriate. Kim?
Well, that's a really great segue, Olivia, actually, because that's part of what I want to talk about. It is so fun to be here with all of you. I am in my office inside ATIXA headquarters, which is the Title IX Administrators. I'm in the Philadelphia area, actually, Dave. I could throw a rock at Haverford if you need me to. I could just be down there in like about 15 minutes. And it is such a treat to be here tonight with all of you because I miss you all. When my family relocated from Portland, Maine, down here to the Philly area a couple years ago, I decided it was my time to step back from the board, and I miss it. And my brief story is really more just a comment about how much the people in this organization have meant to me over the course of my adult life, and what a gift it has been to find a place where I could contribute and connect with amazing professionals. And, you know, for those of us on the board or who've been on the board over the years, we often don't get as much time to spend with the actors and educators as we wish we did, but we spend an awful lot of time with the team in the office and with each other as board members. And those relationships have just been like an absolute gift to me. So I want to talk about a couple of great humans from Speak About It. My time is limited, so I don't have time to talk about Catherine. I don't have time to talk about Ronde. I don't have time to talk about Kaylee and many of the others who have carried the candle. But I did have, over the course of my time on the board, spend a lot of time with our illustrious executive directors, Shane and Olivia. And I was the board chair at the time that we handled that transition. And this is a little bit about my story. I was thinking about these two humans, and I want to sort of tell you two little vignettes that speak to me about their leadership style and what fearless leaders and wonderful humans they are. And in terms of stories about Shane, there are way too many to tell, and there are probably many that are inappropriate, right? The nature of being a board chair and working with your executive director is that often they come to you for help with things that would not be appropriate to share on this particular call, right? Like, what do we do about health insurance and like all this boring bullshit? And I was thinking about Shane today, and I went back and I looked in my email, like my Speak About It email from a zillion years ago. And like every email heading was like, holy shit, what the fuck, like all of this stuff. It's just like classic Shane. And I just felt like it was so amazingly emblematic of the sort of hilarious seamlessness with which Shane sort of approached his work. He just always struck me as this paragon of professionalism and authentically being himself in a way that has shaped me as a professional in terms of how I do my work and how I kind of move through the world. My story is about hiring Olivia. And we were doing our first round of interviews, and I'm sitting in my boring, stodgy law office in Portland around the table with John Morrill, who's somewhere on this call. I saw him at some point earlier today. And Emily, who was our fabulous consultant who helped us find Olivia. And we're on the phone with, this is like the first round interview. So we're doing like phone screens, I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes on the phone with all these people. Olivia Harris manages to seamlessly deliver this description of this course that she taught at Drew University, and just gently and without a bit of apology for it, tells us this little story about her syllabus and how it created some consternation because it had a list of sexual topics that started with anal beads, that this was at the top of her syllabus. And she just sort of told us this story, and we got off the phone with Olivia. I looked at John, I think we had talked to like 2 people at this point. I don't know if I've ever told Olivia this story. I got off the phone with Olivia. I looked at John. I'm like, that woman beautifully just dropped anal beads into a conversation, a professional interview with us. I was like, this is our girl. This is the gal who's going to be the new executive director of Speak About It. I knew what big shoes we had to fill with Shane, and it was a true honor to lead the team through the process that landed us Olivia as our new executive director. I'm honored to know you both. I miss you dearly. I don't get to spend nearly enough time with all of you, but my relationship with each of you is one of the things about my affiliation with Speak About It that I hold most dear, and I'm just really, really happy to join all of you tonight. It's been fabulous seeing everybody.